Okay, chat, let me go ahead and ask you something, as well as YouTube comments right now. Let me ask you something right now before we get too far into this. You ever see something that it has a really cool like idea or like plan in place and it's really neat, but then you look underneath it, seeing what's attached to it, it's like, huh, what's with this disparaging in quality for this? For me right now, it's looking at this extremely rare One Piece and Dragon Ball Z crossover. Not rare in how shonen IPs crossover sometimes, but more rare in how specifically One Piece and Dragon Ball Z crossover. Now look what's attached to. This is Dressrosa and the film Gold movies. I don't know how exactly we got here, but well, I guess deal the cards were dealt, I suppose. Well, not exactly the thing I would have attached this to, but you know what? It's whatever. All right, hi boys, what's up? Bob here. Welcome to Let's Play for our new One Piece game. This time, this is a little bit more of a showcase. I'm not gonna lie. On the one hand, I wanted to show off this game as much as I possibly could because this game has almost zero archiving online. But on the other hand, it's all Japanese, man. I can only parse so much using the Google Translate app, unfortunately. But well, I've done what I can, and I will at least be able to guide you guys through what I do have notes for. So, One Piece Great Power Colosseum, otherwise known as Dai Kaizoku Colosseum in Japan, as in only Japan. This game dropped September 21st, 2016 in Japan, only on the 3DS, only in Japan. Great way to market your game out the gate, unfortunately. Developed, however, by ArcSys Works, releasing after their work on DBZ Extreme Butoden, which leads us to the famous One Piece Dragon Ball Z crossover between Extreme Butoden and this game. And of course, this has a little bit of notoriety because there has been a pretty substantial community that's grown up around it. So, as a brief refresher, if you're not familiar, first of all, I'm going to recommend before you watch this game, watch my Let's Play of Dragon Ball Z Extreme Butoden. It's a little bit lengthy because I went through all the story modes, but it's really an interesting encapsulation of what ArcSys was trying to do before they got their hands on, Dragon Ball Fighters, obviously. So just as a recap, Japanese One Piece, or this game, is able to play against Japanese Dragon Ball Z, but each game is locked to its available characters. So for example, like if you have Japanese Extreme Butoden, you can only play as DBZ characters. Japanese One Piece can only play as One Piece characters. You can't mix and match. Like, for example, you can't have, like, Kizaru on a team of Goku and Vegeta. Much like how you can't have, like, Goku on a team of Luffy and Zoro. A little bit limiting, but, well, the novelty's still there, so not that big a deal, honestly. And that patch that made this possible was released in November 2016 as well. About, am I looking at this right, 2 months after the game dropped? Interesting thought. Yeah, it's strange to say the least. Available content, sort of a story mode, kind of goes straight up through Dressrosa with Film Gold being in there as well. It's really similar to Burning Blood. In fact, I'm going to get this out of the way right now. We're still in the mire of like 2015, 2016 One Piece games focusing solely on Dressrosa because Dressrosa was freaking huge, dude. Oh my god. Pirate Warriors 3, Burning Blood, I think the other 3DS fighter, this game, like, so much was released during the Dressrosa arc that's like, this is like an entire era by itself. Oh my god. Yeah, dude, this is absolutely crazy. It took forever to wrap up back then. Yeah, dude, holy shit. Okay, I think I'm more than a minute into this. I think I can swear now. But that being said, I'm going to give you just a sampling of what we're going to be going through with this game. Just by the intro alone. Sorry for taking a year off, but you know what? I have to cover these things. Well, before we got Kizaru's fight recently with Luffy, I would say absolutely rest in peace, Akainu. You're not walking away from that fight with Luffy at this point in time. No freaking way. But also, I want you guys to go back and listen to that bit really fast at the end there with the zoom into Luffy before fighting Akainu. Aren't those notes for the trumpet literally one-to-one we are? Like, am I the only one hearing that? It's so funny, dude. That thing about also, Burning Blood also like sounded like it took some stuff from the soundtrack as well. It's kind of weird how we ended up just doing that. Anyway, whatever. All right, so welcome to the game. This is going to be an incredibly short Let's Play, by the way. There's only a handful of stories. Obviously, also, it's all Japanese, so I can't hover on too much, nor will I, we are too iconic. Yeah, it's also just funny that we just straight up facelifted it as well. But anyway, on that note, I will be highlighting the key differences between this game and Extreme Butoden. I'll give you ideas of how you want to play the game, and then we'll just kind of jump right into it. This is not, I don't expect this game to take more than 6 hours tops. Now, normally, if you're familiar with my Let's Plays, you'll know that normally I have Brandon with me for the One Piece games. He's not with me for this one right now. I kind of advised him to just not be with me for this one for a couple of reasons. One, all Japanese. I know there's not much to give commentary for. Two is that I can't get the 3DS layout for this game working on the big screen TV, so that's kind of out of the question as well. And also, this is a very short game. There's not much to cover. It's a little bit more of a novelty. I mentioned during the Extreme Butoden Let's Play that I want to see if I can cover this game because I had so much fun with the Extreme Butoden, but even then, I've found some things, but not as much as I would like to. First of all, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, before I jump the gun entirely, this game is featuring a roster of 23 characters and 80 assists. The assist number is down from Extreme Butoden, but you know it is what it is. Obviously, we got a lot of our heavy hitters, like all of the Straw Hats and whatnot. Do I have all the Straw Hats unlocked? I am missing Frankie still. Let me go over that a little bit later. But we have also a bunch of the other general heavy hitters for this time period. We got Hancock, Law, Doflamingo. Obviously, I hope he's in this game. Holy shit. We also have some other generic characters. Blackbeard is always going to be playable. Noteworthy, however, is I don't think Whitebeard is playable in this game. In fact, no, he's an assist. Very interesting. As well as the fact that, let me actually look at my notes for this before I go too far ahead of myself. On that note, also this chap is down here. You might recognize this man, Gil Tesoro from the film Gold movie. I was mentioning this up front. Yeah, this is another crossover thing going on with the film Gold movie. It's very funny how film Gold has appeared in multiple movies, but we've barely got anything for freaking, not Strong World. The other one before that, the one with Gold Tiger, man. I forgot what it's called off the top of my head. Anyway, yeah, so we have him, but you'll notice that we're also kneecapped on admirals a little bit. So we have Akainu here, we have Fujitora here, but no Kuzan and Kizaru. The latter two are relegated to only assists. Very strange, but you know what? It is what it is. You guys also want to note the assist side as well. Let me get Luffy selected first and foremost. Oh, I don't have him unlocked yet. Okay, well, unfortunately, I can't complete my joke, but this is one of very few games where you actually, like, visibly get to see Virgo. I still don't know why he's not playable in anything when he's just Albert Wesker. Got me on that one, man. We have him and Monet as actual selectable assists. Very rare time where you actually have both of them as selectable assists in, like, anything, period. But, you know, we'll take that. One thing I want to note really fast also is I don't have all the characters unlocked. Obviously, neither assists nor characters are playable. The story mode is obtuse to say the least. We'll get more into that as we go forward, and you'll see just what I'm talking about. Before that, yeah, so I should go ahead and wait, why is like Robin to beat up? No, we're gonna go beat up someone else. He'll be fine with it. And Vivi is still not being playable in any Warriors game. That I'm not too surprised about. She's not that explicitly a warrior necessarily. She's still playable in the old Unlimited Adventure games and Grand Adventure, but yeah, and even then, if you want a funny exclusive character for any Warriors game, hey, where's Arlong? I don't think Arlong's ever been playable in anything outside of exactly Unlimited Adventure or Grand Adventure. It's such a strange thing. Anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves, so let me see my notes really fast. Now, the gameplay for this game is very similar to how it was with Extreme Butoden. You're going to find this pattern with a lot of ArcSys and Works games for this time period, pre-Dragonball Fighters. Usually they follow a pretty set formula for the anime crossovers that are not Guilty Gear. So let me just take you not over what it is, but what's different. So I'm gonna give you a second to go catch up with your Dragon Ball Z Extreme Butoden knowledge. Okay, now we're all caught up. Let's go ahead and get into this bitch. So first of all, One Piece characters can't charge up their energy at all. Not like you could what the characters in DBFC almost in Butoden as well. Instead, you do get energy by running and doing combos. I don't know the option to make your energy not immediately like full in this training mode, unfortunately. So you have to bear with me. You'll see that as we go forward, though. First of all, there's no high elevation you can go to with the characters. Instead, you enter this like RPS sequence where you can choose to like knock your opponent in a certain direction. I'm not sure what the real rhyme or reason for that is. I usually just try to knock him downwards to get hard knockdown and some OK off of that. But, you know, it's whatever. Now, instead of a super dash you have in this game, if you press forward and the R button, you'll instead do like a Dante up trick like teleport move. If you don't know, I'm referencing Marvel vs. Capcom and DMC3 as well, where you'll teleport like right after your opponent up and above them. Reason this is important is because you can immediately force a 50-50 on them. And yeah, but obviously the counterplay is really easy to anti-air this, but we're getting into details that we'll cover a bit later, obviously. On top of that, every character also gets like a unique install if you press R and circle. By the by, just a reminder to everyone, I have this currently mapped to my PlayStation 5 controller. I have the general rough mapping of it, of the 3DS map to my PS5 controller. My L button is set to L1, R button set to R1, and I have a reminder you can do this. You can set your buttons to be hotkeyed to set areas on the touchscreen you can select. So, for example, R3 for me is selecting player 2, and if I were to press L3 when Luffy is charged back up, I can just tag back into him, like so. I also have L2 set for my first assist and R2 for my other assist. I generally recommend this. You're able to freely set regions of your touchscreen to be like input for your controller. It's really convenient because this game and the original game, I don't know why, your swapping characters option and your assist buttons aren't physical buttons. They're only things you can access by touching the touchscreen. Thank you, 3DS. Thank you for your stupid ass goddamn gimmicks. God, I'm so annoyed with Nintendo in the 2010s. Holy shit. Anyway, unrelated tangent. Is there anything else to go over? I think it's pretty much the speed of things. I will say that combo structures are relatively similar to how they were in DBZ. I keep doing that. Extreme Butoden. Like, for example, you can like just kind of improvise some shit. It's again the beauty of these games, this game and Butoden, is that while the combo structure seems relatively stiff at first, where it's like you can't do like easy jump cancels or like a lot of chains into supers into specials and whatnot, the beauty of it is the flexibility of the assists you get in this game, or these games in particular. Like, for example, the top one I have, I don't know his name. I haven't got to that part of Dressrosa yet, unfortunately. It's lightning fast. Also, Buggy is my other assist, and he can do some funny shenanigans as well. Again, a lot of this game's beauty comes from the breadth of the assists you can use in this game and how they interact with your characters. It's really goddamn fun. It's also a little bit more lenient than you think it is. Like, you can just kind of fuck around and find stuff. Because I can do this. I can go into Elephant Gun as well if I want to. Yeah. Anyway, a couple of other basic things. Just like before too, if you do your light string into the heavy ender and you press the energy button at the very end, you're able to do your ultimates, which are really cool. Gear 4th, hi Luffy, you look strange as always. Also, I want to mention the animations for supers in this game are kind of stiff. Like, you noticing that there's no like anime lines in the background or anything. There's no like flying effects. In fact, a lot of the frames are kind of stiff. I'm not sure what's up with that necessarily. I can only assume a lot of the budget went straight into the actual sprites themselves. I wish I had written down immediately what the release date for Extreme Butoden was, because maybe I had a hand in this game being a little bit more stiff on that side, but it is what it is. I'm not gonna split hairs over that necessarily. But no, definitely this game, the characters for One Piece definitely feel a lot more unique than what they did in Extreme Butoden. I have to keep restraining myself from saying DBFZ. Sorry, it's a reflex. But no, seriously, every character feels so much more unique, and I think a lot of it's because of the key blast systems. And when you press the energy button in this game, sorry, I think it's A in this case? Yeah, it's A or B, one of those two buttons. Instead of just shooting a key blast out of your hands, each character has a unique action instead, where Luffy, he just runs forward and does, what's it called? Hawk something? So, I know someone's gonna be able to correct me. Yeah, he has that. If you do it in the air, he's got, just a generic rush attack. Yeah, one of the Gatling moves. Zoro, if you do it with him, he charges up, Onigiri. So that's pretty cool. Out of the air, I think it's supposed to be Dragon Shock or something. I'm not entirely sure. But no, there's a lot of uniqueness among the One Piece characters that I think makes them feel way more fun than the Dragon Ball Z characters. That being said, though, I think people generally say that the Dragon Ball Z characters are a bit more strong across the board. I could be wrong about that, but it definitely kind of feels like it. You know what I mean? Anyway, let's go ahead and get back and just start story mode proper. Once again, look at this drink. Okay, so what's going on with the story mode exactly? So it's not... I guess it's not inherently too dissimilar from what we had in Extreme Butoden, but it's a lot more linear, I guess you could say. Oh, is this a continue? I think it is. Yeah, let's go ahead and nuke that. Alright, so story modes are kind of given to this game. Let me just say first and foremost, finding information for this game has been an absolute fucking nightmare. Oh my god. If I just started a new video, I got a sense of that already. Very funny. Let me just go down the list, dude. Holy crap. GameFAQs has really no useful information. There is a Mizumi wiki page for this game, but it's really barren. There's an official page for this game on the One Piece wiki that only lists characters, supports, stages, and some easily verifiable information like release dates and whatnot. Yeah, being only in Japanese with no translation patches whatsoever, I had to really dig to find up any information about this game. According to Griffy Bones, you know, the guy who kind of put these games on the map, he had to really feel his way through the game enough to unlock all the characters and assist for the save file used on the Discord server. I'm not using the save file for the Discord because I feel like I'm already putting a good enough dent in here already, and it feels more organic that way. That being said, though, oh man, so let me tell you what I've been doing. So on your smartphone, do you have the Google Translate app? So on that app, on phone specifically, there is a function on there where you can use a camera to select an area of text, and you can have it immediately translate that text into English. No joke, have done that for every story mode, and I've also done that for all the text in the opening cutscenes. And I gotta tell ya, you're not missing too much. They're all essentially the same story, although there's some very cringy things. That is for goddamn sure. All right, that being said, though, let's go ahead and just jump into this thing. All right. Like I said before, this is kind of part and parcel why I didn't bring Brand along for this one. There's really not much to go over with the actual story itself, but it's novel enough and no one's ever covered this game fully that I was like, yeah, you know what, screw it, why not? All right, so the top option, I believe, is to select which of the two characters we want to pick. Our first story mode here is going to be focusing on Law and Luffy. I do want to put more time into Law eventually, but I have not had a chance to do so. So we'll be sticking with my favorite gunman. I remember what the second option does. I think you can select a bunch of buffs to give to yourself if you so choose. I will not be doing so because I am, frankly, kind of insane sometimes. And also, it's a fighting game. You know how it be. If you're good enough at the fighting game mechanics by themselves, you really don't need to interact with the RPG mechanics that much. So it's kind of a moot point. Anyway, let's go ahead and begin. First of all, if you've been following me on Twitch, you should absolutely follow me on Twitch, guys, to see me practicing these games live before we get to actually recording them. Every story mode is effectively the same, and we even confirmed that using Google Translate itself. So here's more or less the broad strokes of what's happening. So Law and Luffy alliance has already been established. Cool. One day, Law and Luffy find himself in like a wave that crashes over them and makes them, and basically strands them on like a separate series of islands, more or less. I have this actually written down my Discord notes. Let me go find it really fast. Okay, yeah, I actually have them written down over here. So With them, they get teleported to a different dimension after a huge wave from a storm crashes over the ship. And they get teleported to this area called the limited area. I don't know why it's called that. That's what all the translations keep coming back to. And in fact, if you look back at the opening for the game, you'll see a unique log post that actually has the word limited down on the bottom rim of the page of the little glass jar. It's kind of strange, but you know, all right, we're being vague. I understand. Supposedly there's a giant treasure that's also down at the end of this series of islands, which is definitely not trying to replicate the Grand Line in any way, shape, or form. Apparently, they also find the note that tells them about what's going on from a dead pirate. That tells them that at the end of this new quote-unquote Grand Line, or New World, I guess you could use either term, there's a huge amount of gold and silver they can go pick up in terms of treasure. That being said, I've only translated the opening cutscenes for these stories. Yes, I've actually gone through and gotten machine translations for everything. First of all, I'm going to say right now, do not put out machine translations as official translations for games because they are horribly inaccurate and they are not good to use. That being said, sometimes machine translations can be good as a first pass to just give yourself like an in to just checking out what's like how to play the game, you know, or like broad strokes. By the way, can I just say this art style is horrendous to look at? Holy fuck. Okay, Law, kind of okay. Luffy has like, I can't tell. He has, okay, you know what part of it is? There's no like lighting going on with Luffy besides like that one like shadow underneath his chin. Everything else just flat lighting. Oh my god. Like legitimately some of these art stills would just look like they were just cranked out in like maybe an afternoon tops. It's really rough. Then again, I suppose we're the only ones that are really playing this game seriously for story mode, so what do I know? It had to start coming through eventually. Is this dimensional dungeon Ace was sent to after his fight with Sakazuki? Gotta be funnier. I guess we're going to Zoe first. Also, yeah, you can see the compass down there says limited. Very funny. This game's character portraits versus Extreme Butoden. Okay, I know despite some of the shit we saw with Extreme Butoden, like really weird color green Kami, this game might have worse character portraits because holy shit, even a glance at Luffy here, it's like, I don't think these portraits were done, man. Holy fuck. Anyway, yeah, I've only gone through a translation for like the opening cutscenes. I haven't gotten this far in with the characters as of yet, unfortunately. But depending on what character you're using, you can't, every story mode basically features like 2 primary characters you can choose to, sure, I'll just, oh, this is a tutorial, right. I'm gonna have these all on screen so you can translate them if you're interested, but I will just tell you right now, it does not matter too terribly much. Well, I should complete that former thought. Was I still talking about stuff? Oh yeah, every single one of these 5 main stories are gonna focus on 2 main characters that you can select, except for the final one that's a little bit more different. But the first 4 of them, you can choose from one of 4, 2 different characters and just kind of go to town with them. No, you cannot select the other one after you do so. It's kind of strange. Okay, so this is basically our regular interface for while we're going through this whole thing. So it's kind of like, I guess you could say D&D in a weird sort of way. I'm not sure how best to describe this. It's like almost a choose your own adventure kind of thing. So let's take things from the top. There's a lot of text on the screen right now that you probably do not know what it means. So let me go ahead and take you through what's going on. So where is my OBS? There you are. All right, so first of all, we have character right here. Duh. Now, this map right here, this is basically the path to getting towards the final area of each story mode, which is going to be here, right here. You can select 3 different routes to go through at first. Then you come to a fixed area, 3 different areas, fixed area, fixed area. So kind of cool. Again, it is a little bit of a choose your own adventure kind of deal. You can unlock different characters and assists by taking different routes through the story, which is pretty cool. You can't visit every single area in one run, however, so it kind of encourages like multiple runs in order to get everything. Yeah, now we have, where is the actual things? Right, okay, over here. So we have a 7 right here. This is basically the amount of actions you have per area, and that's where this comes in. every single one of these 4 is like a different action you can take. So let me go ahead and try to highlight them if I can. Once my controller's working. Do I have to restart the emulator? Because I can't get my controller to work right now. What the hell? Okay, luckily I'll save my progress, so I didn't have to go through everything in order to get back in here. Anyway, sorry about that. So we have 4 different options right now. So we have explore, celebrate, rest, and this is something else. It's adventure and something about finding new recruits. I forget what this one is called inherently, but you know, I could probably go find it really fast. Actually, you know what? This is probably a good time to go ahead and do this anyway. So one YouTuber from way back in the day, by the name of Shonen Games, I don't know if he still does things anymore or whatnot. Hi, it's me. He did put out some stuff back in the day that was like loose translations for his game, and let me go find it really fast if I can. There he is. Okay, this guy also randomly has a actual website. It's kind of strange. Anyway, so what he did was actually translate a portion of this game back in the day. Actually pretty nice to do so. As soon as I can find where this stuff is. Also, wow, what is this formatting going on right now? Here we go. That took a little bit of work, unfortunately, but here we are. Okay, so he did translate these menus to a certain capacity. So if you're a little bit in the dark, this is a good way to find your way around initially. Right, adventure, provisions, pillage, sleep. It's going to be slightly different for Luffy because obviously you can immediately see with Blackbeard's story here, the icon is a little bit different. This is provisions, adventure, and the one for Luffy is partying, basically. Each of these has a different function while you're going through this. You'll be able to find different characters and whatnot. So let's go ahead and start with this. Why not? Now where things get goofy is normally every time one of these comes up, you have a situation will play out where your character in question is presented with 3 different options for, like, let's say, oh, Luffy sees a treasure chest in the distance. You have 3 options. 1 is to run right towards the treasure chest. 2 is to ignore it. 3 is to inspect the area before you go to investigate. It's kind of cumbersome, especially since it's in Japanese, and sometimes they don't actually match what the character would do. But like, if it's like a smaller character like Nami or Sanji or whatnot, usually they would opt to like be cautious. Whereas characters like Luffy or Kid or not Blackbeard, but like other characters like would probably just jump right in. So it's basically choosing like the best option, more or less. How good of a navigator do you think Law is? I assume he has to be be able to do it to some capacity. All right, let's just do this. Why not? All right, that was a bad outcome. Now, getting these correct can get you different outcomes. They will give you different character unlocks can possibly come about from them, but more or less they will also get you what was it called? Notoriety. That's it. With more notoriety, I'm not sure if that gives you options to get more characters unlocked or added to your team, but it's generally incentivized to do so. Let me go ahead and find translations for what the other options are as well, since I'm thinking about this. All right, so if I'm looking at this correctly, let me see if I'll also find this on OBS. Yep. Okay. So top option there for the orange bars is fame level. That is charm. That is level points. The blue one there is ship resistance level. Underneath that are items and traits. The gray ones don't really get affected. The orange ones with the arrows obviously go up. So like we'll get more fame level. We'll get more charm. We'll get more level up points as well that we can use to strengthen our characters. Yes, really, there's still RPG mechanics even this deep in. Kind of strange. Game just like to highlight just how terrible of a person useless mid is. I'm not sure who that is, but okay. And every time you do an action, your ship resistance level, quote unquote, will decrease. So you kind of have to balance all these things out. You'll have to occasionally sacrifice a turn in order to heal your crew and your ship, quote unquote. Again, a little cumbersome, but it is what it is. Like we got that one. That's pretty cool. Gonna give us experience points. It'll probably increase our fame level. Be willing to bet. Not impossible. And occasionally these things will happen. Occasionally you'll run to extra side events you can go into where either they'll find things or new characters will approach them and you can recruit them. Obviously we've done this for a little bit, so let's go ahead and try this out. Why not? What character design was useless mid? Useless kid, right? Okay. Dang. Okay. Lod's a bit more of a cautious character, so if the top option was the direct forward answer, then it probably was not the one to go with. But it is what it is. Again, if you don't really care about unlocking characters or interacting with the RPG mechanics of this game, you can kind of just ignore these and just keep going. That being said though, if you have no ship stamina at all, you can actually start getting into some really constant difficult battles and risking mutinies because your characters that you recruited cannot end up leaving you. Yes, really, you have the risk of that in your back pocket at all times. So you need to play a little bit careful. Anyway, what's this? Okay, obviously it's not Panaman. Is his name El Beppo? Something like that? Sorry, I'm still kind of... I'm not gonna lie, I've been out of One Piece for a few weeks now, actually. I've been much more back into JJK as of late, and also... since I'm in Dressrosa now, I have to find ways to watch One Piece faster, because holy shit, is it going to take forever to get through. So what I did was just Beppo. Okay, cool, I got it right. Anyway, we have him as an assist now, yay. I guess. Again, we have him already, so it doesn't really matter that much. Let me go ahead and party, why not? Sweet. We're good at skipping all the Rebecca flashbacks? You mean how they keep happening, from what I understand? To give you your own perspective where I am right now, I think I'm at this... Oh, hi, I didn't get into you before. Her story is kind of gross. How she can't say no to like anyone. I'm just like, bro, that's uncomfortable as fuck. I'm good. I'll go to the middle option, why not? Cool. I don't know if I just recruited her, but it'd be kind of funny, I guess. Again, I'm not skipping all of this outright because I know there's not very little archiving of this game out there, so fuck it, may as well. I'm glad Baby 5's story ends well. Oh, thank God. Because the story setup for her so far, I'm just like, this is kind of gross. No thank you, I'm good. Keep adventuring, why not? I should probably heal before we get too far in. Accident, ah yes. Here we have to get into combat, or was something bad may end up happening. So anyway, we're gonna set these two up. Oh, I guess I was lying when I said you can't select your second character. Well, it is what it is. Unfortunately, we only got 2 point characters, one one assist, but you know what, it is what it is. Hi. If I can get Arlong's actual sister, that'd be pretty awesome. Anyway, I guess it's just as well since we're about to end this out anyway. All right. Let me show you what I mean about this game having really flexible combat. Ah, too close to the wall. I think you have me mashing. Oh, we might actually get him here. Cool. I'm gonna try to stagger him. Anyway, this is a combo. Going straight from Red Hawk into your super. Yeah, let's do it. Why not? Of course, obviously, it's not going to be Gear 4 tier. It's going to be something different. Jinbei, Cabbage, Treble, and Madame Charlie will cry random team. Yeah, a lot of these teams you're going to get are just completely random and thrown together. Nothing really too crazy or anything, but it is what it is. Pep's got a pretty good assist. What? I don't know why I just literally teleported, but okay. Let's get a law in here. I'd never use him at all. Just because I don't know what else to go for here, actually. Because I literally never play as law anyway. I was like, yeah, I'll save Luffy's HP a little bit in case shit goes really south. Oh wait, fuck. What's this dude's name again? Because the journalist is kind of interesting. Extreme Butoden without the air command feels incomplete. You'd think so, but no, it's actually kind of fine. Oh yeah, I guess also while Yeah, while room is active, you still have the effect of being able to hit everyone within the area that's deployed. Pretty cool. Cavendish, right. Cavendish is also one of the best characters in the game according to the tier lists. Cool, yay.